Overwhelmed.
Your favorite mother-daughter duo is here with a show where nothing is off limits. Nothing is off limits. Mental health, pop culture, and the struggles of life. There's nothing they won't talk about. You'll laugh, cry, relate. You may even hate. They've got a lot to say, so listen up. Now, here are your hosts, Alexa and Carissa.
Welcome back to the Overwhelmed podcast. They're already laughing at me. I have my two friends here.
Best friends.
Two best friends that anyone could have. We are wearing sunglasses because we look like degenerates.
No, they're just trying to copy me.
Matthew had sunglasses on. We were like, oh my God, you look famous. So we copied him because he is a natural born trendsetter and he just can't help it. But my mom is out again this week. We don't know why. She is MIA. I am damn near taking over the show myself. We're going to test out my hosting skills. So we got Andrea, who is that girl. She asked me to introduce her like that, by the way. But she is a model, actor, legend, and star, and a queen. And we have Matthew here, who's literally like I think I was your first friend in LA.
Literally dead ass.
And then you were like one of my first friends in LA. We met on set doing background work. Little embarrassing, but.
Not embarrassing, just traumatic.
Not embarrassing, but like we've come a long way.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're going to get into all this shit because y'all already know like LA is just crazy. And we talk about LA and stuff a lot on here, but I just want to get into our experiences, what's been good, what's been bad, shit people don't know about the modeling industry, body image, the whole tea. And we do have some drinks if y'all couldn't see on the table.
And disclaimer, for those that are watching, these are compostable.
Yeah, they wanted to throw that in. We are not trying to harm the environment.
Period.
Exactly, and I'm not driving, so.
So listen, y'all, we got to get into this. And we're not holding back, all right? Let's spill the freaking tea. All right,
What
Andrea.
tea?
I'm nervous.
Oh, all the tea.
Oh.
You know we're coming in hot.
I'm so scared.
Don't be scared. Don't be shy.
I'm just watching.
Don't be shy.
I actually do cuss a little.
What's your favorite word?
Probably fuck.
Probably fuck. Andrea,
Yes.
you're on the hot seat.
Okay.
Tell us. We're getting straight in. There's no time for games.
Oh, God.
So you're a model.
Yeah.
How long have you been modeling? Like, just kind of tell everybody how you got into it and why you got into it.
So I've been modeling for over 10 years now, and I always wanted to do it. A little backstory, I grew up in a military family, and I remember begging my parents to let me be a model when we lived in South Korea. I was like 10 years old. America's Next Top Model had just come out. My parents were like, absolutely fucking not. Are you going to be a model? Like, that's just not happening for you. So when
Because they didn't want you in the industry or because they were like, you can't do it?
Oh, I don't know.
Probably a combination.
Probably both. Like, if you saw some photos of me as a 10-year-old trying to be a model, you would probably have been
I could
like
pull
my
them up.
parents. No.
The receipts?
Literally.
It's
and just
horrible.
flash it at
It's
the
actually
camera.
funny because that was the only other time I dyed my hair red.
Yeah, she just had her hair red. If y'all are
What?
watching the video, she's been blonde.
When I was 10 years old, my mom let me semi-permanently color my hair red. That's so
I did not
weird.
know that.
Full circle.
I know, kind of crazy.
Come through, queen.
I don't remember the question.
Just like how you got into
She's
modeling.
Drunk already.
Oh, okay, so I turned 18. I moved to Chicago. I started just like shooting with photographers, ended up finding a modeling agency, and then they shipped me off to China where I worked for a few months.
Maybe don't say it like that.
What do you mean? That's how
They
it
shipped
works.
me off to China.
Wait, so was that your first experience like actually modeling in China?
Yeah.
I want to get into it.
I was 20 the first time I went to China, and I stayed for 3 months, and it was like my first real experience modeling. I had booked a couple jobs in Chicago, but it's a whole new ball game overseas.
Did you go to Hangzhou first or second time?
First,
Okay.
Hangzhou.
Okay.
And it's crazy over there. You're working like 16-hour days, and you're usually shooting e-commerce, so you're probably cranking through like 200 outfits a day.
Damn.
And it's kind of crazy.
I want to hear more about it. Matthew, how did you get into this world? He is a actor, model, writer, director, producer, model. Did I say model? Did I say model? He's just a legend all the way around, like literally such a talented, creative person. So how did you get into the whole entertainment thing? Why are we here?
Nepotism.
I wish.
Yeah, no, literally.
And if you-
I wouldn't be
and if
sitting
you-
here if we were nepotism babies.
Yeah, if you have a little. Wait,
I'd be
bitch.
on-
Yes, you would.
Yeah, but
Well,
That's
but
true.
we would be in like, I don't even know. We'd be like too busy on Euphoria or something.
Yeah, no facts. Like,
Like-
can Judd Apatow be my dad?
No, literally.
okay,
I stand
shout out Maud, though.
Apatow.
Love her.
Oh, love her.
Literally.
Um,
I love her too.
Maud Apatow.
I just
No,
said
I said
Maud.
Apatow.
Oh.
Did I say Apatow or Apatow?
You said Apatow.
Tomato,
I
tomato.
just kind of said Apatow, and I don't know why.
I'm still
how
up
did
for
I get
adoption
into-
if
No, literally, I'm
wants
like,
to-
love you, mom, but Judd and Leslie, adopt me.
Yeah, there's nothing against it. Like people talk about nepotism, like, oh, I'm like, girl, it's been
Fucking
around.
Own that shit.
But
Are
that's
you
in
kidding
every
me?
industry.
Nepotism, I
Yes.
feel like it's like not even just nepotism. It's like, that's just like,
Connections.
yeah,
too.
you're born into what you're born into. If you
Literally.
have money or connections or power, you have it. It's like, you
Yeah.
know, just don't be a dick about it.
Yeah. Period.
Exactly. Back to
Yeah.
you, Matthew.
Back in the studio. I started doing theater when I was a kid, literally like 5 years old, and I just kept doing more and more as time went on.
It was just in your blood, in your veins. Like you're like, I
and-
have to act.
and then
Oh
I
my
became a
God.
little Midwestern middle school professional actor and did live theater and got paid a little money in the summer. And I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then I was like, I'm going to be a doctor. And then I was like, I think I'm going to be mad at myself if I don't try to do something that I really want to do and love. So then I just kind of like threw that to the side and decided that after high school, I was going to go to LA and see what the fuck happened. And
And we're still here.
Yes.
somehow.
Bitch, I've had no plan and I still don't. And I'm like,
I had all the plans, and then life curbs you real fucking quick and says, you had expectations? Nope.
no, dead ass.
Literally.
Dead ass. What's y'all's like maybe with modeling, like, what's a bad experience you've had with modeling? Because I know, like, I don't want to talk about all negative stuff, but it's like, there's some shit that people, obviously people talk about these things, but there's a lot of stuff with modeling that I feel like just goes unsaid. So, like, what are some experiences that you've had?
I feel like I've blacked them all out.
I mean,
The
yes,
trauma is
at-
too much.
Yeah.
I know it is kind of traumatic sometimes. Well, when I lived in China, they love Americans over there, and so I did work all the time, but towards I don't know. Okay, so when I was in China, my agents were super, super like sticklers on how much I weighed, how much I ate every day, just that whole thing. And once you get like wrapped up into it, it's so hard to see like the way you're treating your body.
I feel like we're already hard enough on ourselves. If I had somebody
Exactly.
else telling me, girl, I would be like,
it's impossible.
not okay.
And so one day I had a job and we shot like 2 looks, and then no one even told me I was fired. I got a text message.
On set?
Yes, on set, they texted me saying, the client thinks you're too fat. You can go home. And then no one on the set spoke to me as I got my things and left. They just ignored me. Like I didn't exist to them anymore
That's
because they
like-
thought I was
I'm
fat.
laughing because I'm uncomfortable.
I was like, I think I left my body.
You almost have to
you
deal with
I
that.
I was
remember
like-
you sending me
I
and Zach a
remember
message.
leaving the job and texting them and being like, they just fired me, but no one told me that. They like that's just so fucked up. They just texted me
Yeah,
and then ignored me.
Didn't your agents like tell you later?
Well, no, because they had to text me to let me go.
Oh, but I meant like about why you were fired. Or did you find out in the moment?
No, in the moment.
Oh.
And
great.
so it was even
Love
more
that.
uncomfortable.
And what? Not that it matters. I mean, if you want to say it or not, but like, what size were you? Because like, you're so.
Oh, I
Literally
was actually smaller than I am now.
like 00.
what do
yeah?
they want you to be?
I don't know.
A skeleton?
I
like
really don't know.
that ass at this point, like you can't have skin on your
No.
body.
No.
But then didn't they also like literally bring like KFC for lunch?
Yeah, some job. It's just a totally different world over there.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a lot of great jobs, but it's
I feel like it's very
still, like,
contradictory.
it was a really hard place to live, and it's a really hard place to work as a model. And I feel like when you go overseas in general, working as a model, like it's just a different ballpark. Everyone wants you to be. I mean, maybe it's changed now. I haven't gone and worked overseas in like 7 years, but
But that's traumatic.
it was horrible.
And do you feel? I mean, has that taken a toll on your mental health even up to this day? Like, or have you like gotten over those experiences?
I mean, I honestly don't think I'll ever get over those experiences. Like, I've always struggled with my weight, and like, ever since I entered the industry, like an eating disorder. Like, I have always told myself if I starve myself and I'm a certain size, that like equates to my worth. And
What? Okay, where does
I
that?
developed that when I moved out here.
yeah,
Okay,
it's crazy.
it's crazy because y'all are saying y'all developed that when y'all moved to LA. There's not been a day that's went by, and I can literally put my hand on the Bible and say this, since as long as I can remember, which is probably like elementary school, not a day that has went by that I haven't thought about my weight.
No,
In
I
some
agree
way,
with
shape,
you.
or form.
I will say when I was in like high school and like, you know, that like that's where you like really see like really big growth spurts and like change. Like
Mhm.
I was definitely bigger, but I don't think I registered it the same way. Like I saw, you know, I grew up in like a very upper class, upper middle, upper class, whatever you
Yeah,
call it.
same.
Like, very like white
Same.
suburban area. And I was like, you know, one of the odd ones out by
Mhm.
being mixed. and everyone there was just like tall and white and skinny and athletic, and I wasn't that. But I also don't think I thought about it as much as I would now.
Really?
But once I moved out here, and then I just like had this major wave of culture shock and was just working all day and going to school all day for like 2.5 months straight, I just kind of lost 20 pounds without realizing it. And then it was like, oh, that was kind of easy. And I was like, what did I do? I had stopped eating so much.
Yeah.
And so then that is what changed everything for me. And from that point on, it was like, okay, cool. Like, let's see how small I can get. And then I got as small as I'd ever been. And I was like, wow, crazy, cool. And then from there, it was like finding this balance of I'm working out, I'm being healthy, and like finding that shape, but going back up from when you've hit a small, that's what's so damning. Like, I literally talk shit to myself about myself every single day.
Me too.
Ever since the beginning.
Honestly, no, literally me too. And honestly, like I said, I can remember from like, I'm talking elementary school, not even middle school, like not even when people are starting to talk about that stuff. I don't know if mine came from like, I was a cheerleader growing up. So like, every girl was always on a diet or like talking about it, whatever. Yeah. But I remember going to a sleepover, literally in like 3rd grade. I'm not kidding. And like all the other girls were in like tank tops, whatever. And I remember thinking like, I'm going to wear a tank top this time because I'd never did because I was always self-conscious. And thinking back, I'm like, I was literally a child. But I remember wearing a tank top and being insecure about my arms the whole night. I'm at a fucking sleepover in 3rd grade. Like, what?
I feel like you told me that before.
Probably because it sticks out in my head because I'm like, how was I thinking that so young?
Yeah.
So then it's like you go through these phases of, like you said, you get really into like working out, eating healthy, whatever. You see results. It's addicting. But then even like when I look back, there's never, like, I know my weight fluctuates all the time.
Yeah.
You still thought you had more work to do.
There's never been a time, like, even, I remember being like maybe a little more confident here and there, clothes fitting better. Like, there's definitely times I feel like I've been happier with myself. But even in those moments, I still felt like I needed to lose weight. I was still self-conscious in shorts, tank top, like, is my stomach showing? Even when I was like skinny. So it's like, is there ever any winning? Or are we just like body dysmorphia? Like, I don't know.
No, never.
No.
I had the exact opposite problem, I guess, when I never even thought about the way I looked until I was like 13. And I only first realized it because someone was behind me in the hallway at school and they were like, that girl's so skinny. She's sick. She's going to fall over and die. Like, we should just like push her leg down because she'll just snap in half.
Oh my God.
And I had never thought about that before. But literally since that day, like, I only ever thought like, oh my God, I'm so skinny. So then I just wore really baggy clothes because I was like, I don't want anyone to make fun of me for being skinny.
It's so crazy how that can be opposite too. You know, because you always hear about like, oh, they called me fat, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, but it does stick in your head.
And how it can change though too. Like, you went from one drastic side of the spectrum and now you live like the other side of the spectrum. And it's like, there's not actually a middle ground.
There's not.
You're not ever there. You're literally one or the other of something.
Which is crazy. I'm like, I used to think like I'm so skinny all the time and that was horrible. And now I'm like, oh my God, I'm so fat, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, what the fuck?
It's a mind fuck.
I feel like now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I didn't even think about physically what I looked like in the sense of like weight and size because I was so hyper focused on the fact that I wasn't white.
Really?
Yeah. Now that I'm like thinking about it, I'm like, that was what I focused on.
That makes sense.
It's crazy how we all have different things where it sticks in your head.
Yeah.
And you're like made to feel like separate from people, but we all struggle with the same type of thing in a different capacity.
Yeah, totally different. It's just like, it's literally all the same. Everything is the exact same. It's just like different.
Yeah. And it's crazy because you can't see yourself the way other people do, and that just frustrates me.
Oh my God, yeah. Every day she's like, you look so good. And I'm like, you don't need to look at me.
No, there's days like I can't look in the mirror.
Yeah.
I don't know why this episode is so serious.
And
like,
then you have to look in the mirror because you're like, I have to like leave the house.
Yeah. But there's days where like I don't want to look in the mirror. And I'm like, I'm not going to. I just avoid mirrors. But like, have y'all had experiences? I know you just said you did in China, but like, have you had any experiences in LA with like an agent or manager or like a casting director who has told you you need to lose weight or be a certain thing or gain weight or anything like that?
The first year I lived out here, like within the first couple months, like maybe not the first couple months, it was like the second like half of my first year, I was finally like meeting with agents and all this like, you know, whole like I'm gonna find representation, like that whole vibe.
Yeah.
And I met with like the most random reps that like you know, responded to my headshots, and I didn't know like what different types of agencies were, and I didn't know that there was like, you know, a reputation scale with it. And like I'm, you know, met with this random guy, super like, you know, cliche like LA like yeah, like, that was his energy. And like, I was like literally 18 going, I was like 19.
Yeah, like,
I was a baby.
you didn't know
and
what's going on.
I wasn't like, as skinny as I got, but I was still like skinnier than I had been. I was like, I'm like, I have some cute headshots. Like, I can do this. And he was like, so I'm going to need you to get abs if I'm going to represent you. And I was like, what? I was like, sir, like, how am I going to make that happen?
Did we meet with the same manager?
Like,
I deadass did the same shit.
and the craziest thing is I went to this like literal gala, like maybe, oh my God, I went with Angelica.
Why don't I remember this story
What?
about how you getting signed?
No, I never signed with him. Yeah,
Fuck
but it's
him.
crazy because I know exactly what the building is. It's over by Church Home.
Do you want to name names?
I don't remember his name, but I literally
that's how
I was
irrelevant
at
he is.
This gala,
Period.
this gala. I can't talk tonight. Apatow gala.
I was at this gala, boy. Let me tell you about that.
No, I was literally at this gala with my friend, and I looked so good. Like that's one of it's the photo I use for everything now because I'm like, that's when I looked the best. And irony of this whole story, but I literally was like on the red carpet, and I was like looking. I was like, why is this guy like so familiar? And he was like literally so extra. He had like his assistant there. He had his small dog and his like really ugly Gucci bag. And he was just like posing on the red carpet like he was hot shit. And I was like, sir, I remember you. You told me I need to get abs. And I'm like, I don't have abs, but I'm kind of hot right now. And that's on period.
No.
But I was just like, wow, what a blast from the past that I would recognize you.
I feel like you would, because that shit sticks out.
Yeah. I
Like,
mean, there's also distinguishable characteristics I'm not like specifically stating because
Yeah.
I don't want to get canceled, but.
You don't have to get canceled. I mean, look, it's the truth. It's like your true experiences, Like,
Mhm.
I did the same shit where you like send out your headshots. I had no idea what I was doing back then.
Yeah.
I'm just like sending it to people off like Actors Access, whatever.
Mhm.
I go, Lemonade Cafe,
Yes.
like
Mhm.
in Venice. I remember like getting this manager meeting and I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. It's going to be so fun. We like sit down, typical bullshit. Like, well, like he's acting like he's the shit, which meanwhile, he
Most
probably
people
wasn't.
do.
Yeah. Because y'all know managers too. Like everybody's a manager.
Except
Like
the guy in sunglasses.
everybody's a manager. So I'm like, this guy could have been legit, could have not been legit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Had the whole meeting and he's like, oh, do you want like a muffin? Da 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 da. I'm like, no, I'm good. And then he's like, okay, so if I'm gonna sign you, like, I need you. He literally said, I need you to stand up, walk towards the door again, and walk back towards me. I'm like, okay. I'm by myself too, and I'm like 20, like still like I don't know what the fuck's going on back here. I turn, walk, and he's like, yeah, so just let you know, like, if I'm gonna, same shit, like, if I'm gonna sign you, like, you're gonna have to, like, lose weight because, there are some rules, like, you're gonna have to be in a bathing suit. I'm like, and back then I'm
That's always what they say. They want to be able to see you in a swimsuit. And I'm like, what?
Here's my thing, though. First of all, I think back then I looked just fine, too.
Yeah.
Second of all, like, fuck off because everyone on TV looks different,
Exactly.
especially
Also,
nowadays.
every human
Yes.
fucking goes out in a swimsuit.
Yeah, and who says I'm trying to book roles in a fucking bathing suit?
No,
like,
that they act like every breakdown that they're going to get is going to require you to be in a swimsuit. And that's literally not a thing. I don't think I've ever gotten, actually, that's a lie. I've gotten a couple auditions where it's like, the hottest athlete in school must have like, loves to take their shirt off. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, those are the one-off roles. And like the
Yeah.
producers, writers of the show have a very clear
I get it for that character.
idea for that character.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, one, know your client's brand and don't submit me for that role then. Like,
Yeah.
if that's not my role, then it's not my role.
It's just fucked up because like it gets stuck in your head. So then after that, like now that I'm older, I'm like, oh fuck him. But back then I'm like, oh fuck me. Like I suck. I'm ugly. I'm because I already thought that.
Yep.
So I'm like, oh, thanks for validating my insecurities. Like have a great day.
Literally, like you just changed the course of my life for the worse.
Literally.
That's why like I go back and forth with the whole acting thing. I'm like, bitch, as much as I'd love to be on camera and stuff, sometimes I just don't look at me. Like
Yeah.
I just want to like make my own shit and like if y'all like it, y'all like it. If you don't,
Yeah.
you don't. But like I'm
Yes.
not waiting on you to tell me yes.
I mean, I think that's the best thing about certain like programming right now is that there's so much content that's more geared towards like real ass people. Like,
Yes.
granted, there are still shows that are like the really like, thin, like smaller scale person. But then there's also people that are like, yeah, I'm a little like curvy, I'm a little chubby. Like, and it's like, yeah, we've all got fucking body rolls, dude. Like,
it's normal.
I can't put
All
the
of
fork
us.
down. Sorry. Like,
Yeah, but I don't even eat a lot. And
no,
I'm like,
literally, I'm like, I don't
literally.
even eat a lot anymore, and I still can't lose the weight. Like,
I be eating salad. I'm like, bitch, get it together, because
girl, we gotta have a conversation about that because my acupuncturist, she'll tell you what's up. Salad's not always the best for you.
really.
Yeah, cold raw vegetables, hardest thing for your
Oh,
body
yeah,
to
you're
digest.
right.
So
You told
what
me
should
that.
I eat? Because
And
no one will tell
literally,
me the
it's
truth.
so hard. It's a mind trick because like I don't like to eat carbs. it's so hard for me to like, I'm going to eat some rice. Even
just
though
feel
rice is
bloated
like,
after.
exactly. It's just
Mhm.
heavier. But like, doesn't mean you have to eat the whole pot of rice. But
So
she's
what do we
like,
eat?
just like warmer foods, and depending on the seasons, like she's like in the winter seasons, like eat stuff like this. When it's getting cooler, you can eat stuff like this. She's like, if you're gonna have coffee, have warm coffee instead of iced coffee. She's like, cold.
I'm
like,
fucking my whole life up. Like,
no,
come
I know.
on.
I'm like me. I love a New Orleans from Blue Bottle, like iced coffee
oh my
king.
God,
But,
Fairfax.
Can I just live?
Fairfax, literally let it be known that Fairfax Blue Bottle makes the best New Orleans in Los Angeles.
Really?
Yes, I have tried them all, and that is without a doubt the best.
Yes.
But no, like she's like, drink warm coffee. Like certain temperature foods, certain types of foods are like better and worse and like harder and easier for your stomach and body to like process. And like, let me know, king of fucking up his gut health over here.
Oh, don't even get me started on
Like,
gut health
I-
right
Oh my
now.
God, I haven't
It's like the
pooped
new
in 2
multi-
years. Like, hello.
Well, she needs to go to acupuncture, but money.
But let's be real,
does.
gut health.
Save money, live better.
Have y'all been on the gut health side of TikTok? It's
No.
like the new multi-level marketing scheme.
I think our roommate has.
No, because it's like I get people have gut health issues, like
Yeah.
pop off, do your
it's
thing.
like, I feel like it's one of the most common things that people don't realize is a thing.
Yeah, but they're like shoving it down our throats on TikTok. I'm like, not everyone. Same thing. Like
It's
this
still
is
the same as
this is
Instagram.
gonna come off really bad. Like, excuse me in advance, but like same thing with like being autistic. People like want to be autistic.
oh my God.
No, like on TikTok, people
No,
go
no,
to the videos. People are like, "Do you suffer with procrastination and this and that?"
Oh,
you might
where
be
they
autistic
like
or
want to be like
ADHD.
a victim.
and ADHD.
in
Oh,
a
everyone in
way.
the comments is like, "Oh my God, maybe I'm autistic." I'm like,
It's
no,
like,
some people
no.
actually are.
Yeah,
but
not everyone is. You can't just assume that that's like your diagnosis.
it's like a thing on
My
TikTok.
brother
Well, yeah, TikTok's
is
fucking weird.
high functioning autistic. My
No,
brother
nothing
is.
against it.
No, but I know. But my mom has. She tells me, she's like, "You're probably autistic, Andrea. You should see the doctor."
Really?
Yeah, but I don't see it.
Well, sometimes you can't see it.
I
Yeah,
guess that's true.
I
That's
feel
the
like it's
trick
just
of it
like
all.
the thing is it's like you can't self-diagnose yourself
Yes.
with something like that.
Oh,
Like,
TikTok is the worst.
and that's
Like,
the thing. I'm
you
like, this
self-diagnose
generation
everything
is
on
so
TikTok.
fucking weird. Like they're all obsessed with TikTok, and it's like
Hey.
they're all. I
Don't
mean,
be talking shit on TikTok.
Hey, I'm gonna talk all this shit on TikTok. I just joined. It took me like 3 years. Actually, it took me. I joined, got paid as an influencer, and then they stopped paying us. So then I said, fuck you, and stopped using
Yeah.
TikTok. And then 2.5 years went by, and I said, okay, well, I guess this is what I have to do is sell myself to TikTok to make it in this fucking industry.
Bro, TikTok's my favorite. I spend
love
about
TikTok.
12 hours a day on that app.
Yeah,
I do
we
too,
know.
bitch. I learn shit. I'm like,
me too.
What are we even talking about?
I don't know. That's what I was telling
know.
y'all. Like, there's no plan to this podcast.
There's no plan with us whenever we actually, there's always a plan. And then we're like, let's get drunk. And then we're just like all over the place.
Okay, but
I love it.
that's what we love about ourselves.
Yeah.
I know.
You gotta you know what I'm on at this point in my life? Like, yes, everything's serious and let's do our careers, but like, bitch, I'm also on earth to have fun. Like,
exactly.
not everything
Mhm.
is that damn deep. Like, I just want to go on TikTok
Nothing's
and laugh.
actually that serious.
It's not.
Nothing's real.
Nothing's real. Oh my God.
No, like, it's not.
No, that's like an inside joke.
Well, I'm in the joke, I guess. 'Cause that shit is not real. Like, nothing is real. Like, you want to start a podcast right now? Look at us. Bitch,
Literally.
who
It's
knows who
so
we are?
hot.
That's how he is with me. He's like, because we want to write a show, and you
I do-
you guys
yeah.
also want to write something.
And I always
he-
try to get
he's just
Andrea.
like, who cares? Like, let's just do it. Like,
Everyone started
We
with
just
an
have
idea.
to use our brains and sit down and like
Just-
talk and like think.
Yes.
It's just
God,
fucking
thinking
like
is
hard to
so
get her to.
hard.
But the thing is,
God, I can't
But
think.
the thing is, I really truly
Ugh,
believe
all
with
I
like
do.
creative stuff. Like,
Yeah.
yes, you have to sit down and like think whatever, but so many creative things that happen, like the beautiful things that like just spark and happen.
Mhm.
It's like you can't really describe it. It's not something you can plan. It's not something you can like obviously you have to work and like we do
Yeah.
probably need to sit down and like brainstorm. But at the end of the day, it's like if it's meant to be, I feel like it will. And like,
Yeah.
you have to live your life, get inspired. Yes, we do need to meet.
Should we just like make our own like Team 10 house, but not in the way that like Team 10 functions where they're like, we got to put out all this content.
Wait.
But we just like go under a rock for like a year and we come out with like 10 shows sold to
Yeah.
like networks.
absolutely.
I have connections, y'all have connections.
Like we just need to like disappear. You know what I mean? It's like we need to like put all of our energy
Well,
into
I'm gonna
that.
still be on TikTok.
I know. I was
Well,
like,
yeah, I
was
know.
like, can
I mean,
come
it's a
back
really
on
like
the
big
podcast?
stretch to assume that they'll be able to step
I need
away.
validation from people online.
But you know what I mean? It's like if
God.
we dedicated all the time that you put on TikTok, not to say that like you can't do things on TikTok
What?
that help you.
You're
but
a Leo
also-
too, right?
yeah, Leo
Yeah,
gang.
they're a Leo
Yeah,
gang.
exactly. That makes sense. Why we
But-
love attention.
Oh
I
my God.
love attention.
And here's the Scorpio over here. But like
Okay.
This
Matthew acts like he doesn't fucking love attention. This man,
No, attention makes me uncomfortable when I'm not asking for it or expecting it.
Attention makes us all uncomfortable.
No, it does not. You bitches love it.
I get uncomfortable, but I power through.
I don't see
know.
you shedding a tear.
It's not I'm shedding tears. Like,
I love it.
I'm insecure,
We
bitch.
need to go underground and we need to make a show for HBO.
Okay, go rent Patrick's Rock right now.
Oh my god. Let's
Well, that's what we should call our guest house.
let's post this
Patrick's
on
Rock.
TikTok and
Dead
we'll
ass.
stitch it when we sell a show to HBO.
Yeah, literally.
Do y'all realize, like, we can make a show?
It's so easy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, come on.
I was having some really good ideas about our show last night. But I wasn't quite sure if it actually worked, but it was like, ooh, it's sparking things. Things. I don't know.
The problem with me is the follow through. Bitch, you want to see some ideas?
That's my problem.
No tap on my phone. I'm like an idea god. Like, I think I was put on earth to have ideas.
I think COVID ruined it because we don't know how to sit down and like commit to like
Really?
plans.
I
I
think
can't.
that's
It's
just
so
us.
hard. No, like it's so hard for me to commit to plans, unlike it's ever been. Like before
Really?
COVID, it was like I could be like, yeah, I'm down to go. But now it is like pulling my hair to get me to commit to doing anything with
Wow.
anyone.
I feel the exact opposite, except for doing our brainstorm meetings. Like
Yes, it's
everything else, I'm like,
impossible
hell yeah, I
together.
just need some sort of social interaction.
But why is that? Like psychologically, why? do
I
you
was
have a
about to
hard
say,
time
I
commit?
think I know why.
I think like validation.
Because there's no one there to be like, oh, you're doing great at like brainstorming. Like
you know what
that?
I think the
Yeah,
fear of
probably.
like committing to that is like when we sit down and say like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. I think it's like a
You have
subconscious fear
expectations.
of failure.
Yeah, you
Because
have
I will even do that with TikTok or like content ideas or video ideas. Like, don't get me wrong, like, bitch, I am a literal millionaire in my brain, and like when I
Mhm.
actually do this shit, it will be lit. But there's that subconscious fear of like failure, not being good enough. What if it doesn't
Yes.
turn out how you wanted it to?
Yeah.
What if enough people don't see it? And it's like,
you
Imposter
do make
syndrome.
those like you make comments like that when we're like trying to get to the meeting and then we have the
Absolutely.
meeting and at the end you're like in tears because you're
Yeah,
like
'cause
wait
I'm like, I had some great fucking ideas.
yeah we like come up with things and I'm like yeah we need to ride this wave
It's hard.
and do it
we gotta stop self-sabotaging 2022.
literally also actually
Amen.
speaking of imposter syndrome I just watched this really random new show on Apple TV Plus and it's called Roar. It's like this anthology series. It's all about like women that like are in like it's like weird. I don't know how to
Uh-huh.
describe it, but Issa Rae was in the first episode. I stand her, so I had to watch it.
Oh.
But
Yeah,
her
legend.
whole like thing was about imposter syndrome because she's like the successful Black writer,
Mhm.
and she's like, this network wants to like make her show, so they've optioned it. But then they're like, oh, we want to make it like this virtual reality thing, and she's like, what? Like, didn't you want to make it into like a show or a movie? And then it's like
Yeah.
this whole thing. She goes to this dinner party, and like throughout the day, she's like disappearing. It's like people are talking, they're like looking for her, and she's like, I'm right here. And like by the end, it was like I was so confused. I was like, where's this going? And then she's like on the phone with her best friend, and she's like, bitch, like you belong there. She's like, imposter syndrome's like a bitch, And I was like, oh.
So true, though.
I was like, wait, no, I totally get it. And then at the end, she's like, I'm going back in there. And I was like, ooh.
Period.
I was like, yep.
It's weird how
So-
we do that to ourselves.
Yeah.
Because your idea is just as good as the next person's.
Yes.
What's the difference?
I don't even feel like I have
There's no
imposter
difference.
syndrome. I feel like I just feel like nothing I'm doing is like up to the par of what I want it to be. Or
But you have to
expect
go
it
through
to
that
be.
journey to
Yeah.
get there. Like you have to be
yeah.
willing to go through that journey and like willing to start at the bottom, willing to fail, willing to
Yep.
look stupid.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times I feel like we think we look stupid. I even feel stupid doing this sometimes because I'm like, well, not that many people watch it yet. But I'm like, yeah, dude, when you take your sunglasses off, it's bright.
right.
Yeah, I know. I'm tearing up,
Oh.
honestly.
Oh wow! I'm
But
like
then
my
I'm
skin
like,
better be glowing.
Why would we feel stupid for doing something
That's
that's fun? Why would we feel stupid for like
Yep.
going after our
Yes.
goals? And it's
Well,
like,
literally, why
who
would we feel
knows?
stupid for hanging out with our friends? Like, yeah, we're working, we're brainstorming, but I'm like, we're at the end of the day just hanging out and
I
having a
know.
conversation. We're doing this without the podcast set up.
yeah, like, bitch, it's not that deep.
But this is way better.
Yeah, this is
So
more
we're gonna
fun.
brainstorm our
I-
show in real time.
Wait, that's a podcast series.
That is a podcast series.
the
Yeah.
making of a
The making
legendary
of-
show.
Oh my god.
Leo gang.
Did we just come up with
We
something?
might need to bleep that out so no one else steals the idea. Could you imagine if we literally podcast series like the whole making of a show? I mean, that's basically like a behind the scenes, but still.
Who cares? That's epic. Let's
That
do
is.
it.
It's literally us just talking during our meeting. We're like writing down notes,
Yeah.
breaking the story.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I really think,
Deadass.
yeah, we need to like do something. I don't know if we need to make a show together or if three need to make a show or if you need to come onto our show, but we need to do something.
We will.
Yeah, all of the above. Yeah. Oh yeah. Honestly, that's what I would do. I'd be like, great, we got a show picked up. Who do I know that I can bring in to do literally
Yeah.
anything to help them be part of it?
Literally. I just want to give everyone I know opportunities.
Me too.
Yeah. Would
Y'all
you
wanna-
want to audition for your role or would you want to have someone else play your character
Jesus.
Wait, for what?
in our show? Like about our life.
Yeah, you're gonna be like,
Oh.
Like, would you want to play
definite-
yourself or would you want to audition someone to play you?
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know. It would depend.
Or
like,
play like a unique, like kind of hybrid character.
I think it would be sick to like write a character based off myself and have someone else play it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to like
And
see
then to
that
play a
reflected.
different character.
Oh my god, iconic! That would be so cool to see
You
that.
could play me.
We can play each other.
Yes.
Oh my god, stop! Gotta go lose weight.
Oh my God, shut up.
And trigger warning.
And do y'all want to play Truth or Drink?
Yes, please.
I'm
let's,
literally so
We
hot
need
right
to up
now.
the energy a tiny bit.
Up
Yeah.
the energy. I feel like we've been talking at a mile a
No.
minute. I hope that our text over there can corroborate that.
Shout out
Dude.
to Andrea. We love you.
And Armand.
Oh, we love you too.
Okay, listen, y'all. I got some questions. I'm not saying they're the best in the land, but I am saying we're gonna fucking play this game.
I'm scared.
And I mean, she got these questions figured out within like the past
I just
hour.
have
So
one
we are very
question that
proud
I'm
of
going to
you.
ask Andrea.
What?
Oh, no, you go.
You wanna start with
save
it?
Do I know?
I mean, or should I start with it? Do you? I mean, you know.
Okay, let
I'm
me
gonna
just set
Well,
the
you know what the reference is going to be.
I have no idea. I'm going to throw up.
Let me just set the groundwork real quick. We're gonna play Truth or Drink. Obviously, it's pretty self-explanatory.
Let's start with Alexa.
We're gonna ask a question. So I guess whoever we
I'm
all
just
have to
gonna
answer. If you don't want to answer, you have to drink.
What time do we wrap, by the way?
30 minutes.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, great.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what if I want to answer the question and, drink?
That's fine. It's just like, it's just part of the game, but like you're over here getting lit no matter
Just
what.
not answering questions because they want to drink.
No, literally. I'll answer and drink. All right, let's go.
Okay, so Matthew, you want to start off?
No, let's.
You're asking
I
me?
think
That's
we
what you
finish.
mean?
I think we finished with your
I'll
question.
Oh
start.
yeah, I'm gonna finish. Yeah, 'cause
Okay,
that's
I'll
gonna be a
start.
great segue.
Okay, so this is for all of us.
Okay.
If you don't want to answer, take a shot, drink, whatever.
Okay.
You already drinking.
Okay, who is the rudest influencer or celebrity you've ever met?
Oh my God.
That I've ever met.
Or like been around, like just any experience with an influencer or celebrity you feel like they were rude?
I don't. Oh, this is so hard. See, this is where like my
like drinking.
aspiration for wanting to be famous could bite me in the ass.
Like, what if you
It's
get
like
canceled?
I'm not gonna get canceled, but I would never want them to see it. It's
Leah
like,
Michelle.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that.
no comment.
I've never been around
There's
her.
other
Well,
people
I
on a
just heard.
show, a very popular show from like our youth that I did background on, and it was a unique situation.
Are you
and
not gonna say
You're
it?
No,
saying
I'm not gonna say
not
it.
Glee?
It was like
Why
no
aren't you gonna
comment,
say it?
Because
It's Leah
there's people that I
Michelle.
want to be friends with.
You want to be friends
Well,
with
were
Leah
they rude
Michelle?
to you?
They weren't rude to me. It was like this person on background, like literally like one of the PAs. You know how the production assistants are? Oh my God, they act like they are in charge of everything.
Yeah.
But they're like
They're Dwight.
wrangling background. It's like, calm down. It's not that serious. And background can be annoying. Let that be known.
We're talking about background work on TV shows.
Yes,
If you didn't know,
extra work.
people in that background.
But this PA came in like, just to let you guys know, do not go up to the main cast. They don't want to take pictures, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, okay, first off, like, yeah, I get it. Like, you're working, but like, also, like, y'all don't need to be so mean about it. Like, they were like, this cast was like so
Was
mad
it?
about
Was that
it.
on it with you?
No, it was like this. It was like, I was like,
He's literally talking about Glee.
no, I'm not.
I am talking about Glee because I was on
I'm
Glee as a background.
But I was just, but it like checks out. It makes so much sense because you could tell that I feel like they all had an error. Maybe not all of them, but like a good 3 out of the 4 or 5. But I was like, whoa. I was like, okay, first off, what background went up to them and we're like, can I get a photo?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's self-explanatory to not do that on
It's
set.
like if you're gonna do
That's
that,
unprofessional.
do that at the end of the fucking day. Not
it's
like
still
3
unprofessional.
hours
Don't
in.
even do that.
Don't even do it.
Not even don't do that because like some people don't care. Some people don't mind. Like I met Keke Palmer in an airport and I was like,
Yeah, but that's an
That was not
airport,
background.
not on job.
But, well, this is my example for this. So like I was just like, hey, like I love you, like big fan, whatever. Like we happened to be on the same flight and I didn't realize until we were at baggage claim. And
Mhm.
I was just, that's all I was saying. I didn't ask for a photo. And she was like, oh my God, like thanks, what's your name? And literally started having like a whole conversation with me. But then I just saw on Twitter the other day, she was like, no means no, and not just
saw
for
that.
sexual things. And she was like, this girl at the bar asked me for a photo 3 times. And she was like, I just was like, no. And then she started to videotape me with like out
I feel like
my
it's a mood
consent.
thing too. Like
Yeah, it's like, I just don't
Yeah.
want to today. But it was like,
Yeah.
so it's like, I think it depends on the time, but don't do it in the middle of like a fucking day on set. Like,
well, yeah, they're at work.
yeah, like I
Yeah.
got a photo with John Voight on the set of Ray Donovan. Like it was like my 10th background job out here. And I was like, that's Angelina Jolie's dad. Like I can't not. And he was so nice. Like, it's about reading the room, but
That's true.
What about you?
What was the question?
Who is the rudest influencer or celebrity?
My ex-boyfriend.
Who is that?
I'm just kidding.
wait, I
Was your
like, wait,
ex-boyfriend-
talking about who?
Was your ex-boyfriend an influencer
like
or
who I took
celebrity?
a tequila shot at?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So he never really was my boyfriend. In my head, I don't even know.
It was weird. It was weird.
Can we say his name?
No, I don't think you should.
I don't think. Anyways, so
That was Andrew on the fucking headphones telling me to pull my mic in, and that scared the shit out of me. Oh god.
no, I met this guy on Raya, whatever.
Yeah.
And we dated for like 6 months.
And this is like what, 2017? When we went to the
2017.
Meadows?
We dated for like 6 months, but I won't say his name, but you can figure this out. He was on a popular Nickelodeon show, and he was in a boy band.
Ross Lunch.
No,
That's
maybe
Disney.
that was Disney.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Big Time Rush. There's
I
four
know
of them.
That's
people
all
from Big
you
Time
get.
Rush.
That's all you
Yeah,
get.
that's
You can
all you
fig-
get.
You can figure out who it was.
Yeah, I
but
know
anyways,
people from Big Time Rush.
we
too.
dated for about 6 months, and then one day he just completely ghosted me.
Oh,
But he was also like he's definitely like more arrogant and conceited, which we picked up on. But I would say he is
yeah.
the worst like celebrity person.
And you were
I've
like-
And it's
ever
crazy
met.
because he seemed so great at the beginning. Like,
Well,
you guys
that's-
went on a hike to Kathy's Corner.
They all
and
seem
he,
so
like-
great at the
I
beginning.
mean, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, that was.
That's
really
how they rope
hilarious.
you in.
No, literally.
No,
And then
dead
they're
ass.
like, "Do you want
That's
to
how
do
they do it.
drugs?" And they get you into drugs.
I don't think he got you into drugs. I think you had already had an experience.
I want to talk about drugs.
Wait, no, wasn't that before?
Yes. Well, yes.
You had it once.
We will get
before,
into it.
and
Yes.
then that was a phase, and then you went to China, or was that after the second China? People are like, "What's he talking
Second
about?"
China.
He was after second China.
Yes. Anyways,
okay,
next
yes,
question.
Grace.
Next
Grace,
question.
great.
Okay, mine was Leah Michelle, which is funny you said that because low key, like it was the same type of situation. We're on set doing background work, and I don't go.
And I have to say, for the record, Glee was one of my favorite background jobs ever.
Yeah, no, it was great.
I loved being background on that
Everything
show.
was great. Like I haven't had like terrible experiences. This was just like a circumstance where like they came up and they were. Here's what threw me off. I get it to say like no pictures, no this. You're on set, you're working. I get that 100%. But they literally said, "Do not make eye contact with her," and I'm like, that's where I'm gonna draw the line because we're all sitting at a table like on set. I can't make eye contact. Like, what if I accidentally do, bitch? I don't give a fuck.
Okay, now I feel like I have to throw my hat in the ring on this. Okay, I love Leah Michelle. I have
I
stand
don't have
Leah
a problem
Michelle.
with her, but like eye contact.
No, but like you just let me go where I'm going. Have loved her. Like Glee was one of the reasons I wanted to like move out here and like do what I wanted to do. Like
Yeah.
I remember when that show came out, I was in 8th grade. And I remember my friend Jordan was like, "Oh my god, there's this show Glee," and I was like, "Okay, like cool, I'll check it out." And I was like, "Wait, like this is insanely amazing!" Like I was hooked
Yeah,
instantaneously.
it's a good show.
And like I really, really strongly remember that show like changing like my mind and how I viewed my life moving forward. I got out here, and then I like a couple months in, like after doing background work, and you get booked on the most random jobs.
Yeah.
I started getting booked on Glee all the time. And it was like, oh my God, I love this. Like, I am a big fan of the show. And it was really sad because it was the last season.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh my God, like that means if I ever get an agent, like I can't be on Glee. Like, so sad.
Yeah.
Tear. But I worked on Glee a lot. And like overall, it was great. It was like, it's so nice. You were always at the Paramount studio and you were just
I worked on it a
always
couple
going to the
times too. Yeah, it was
soundstage.
cool.
And like me and Paris were Cheerio and Letterman together. Like
Aw.
it was so fun. But I think after observing everything on that set for long enough, I feel like that show and that set and that experience were so tainted for her after Corey passed away that it was probably really hard.
Way to make us feel like shit.
No, but like, you know what I mean? It's like,
I'm
it was
sure.
probably really hard
Yeah.
to like
That makes sense.
go do that every day. Like,
That makes sense.
I just think that would be a very weird space. It's like you love what you do,
Yeah.
you love this place, but then it's also like the saddest part of your life.
That's true. I feel
And
bad now.
Because trust me, I witnessed all the same things you did. Like after a take was done, she would just like exit the room and kind of just disappear until it was like, okay, we're rolling again, and she would just kind of reappear. And I just felt very like off the grid and observant, and
Yeah.
that was kind of my take on it because
Yeah.
like I don't know how I would be in that situation, but
I mean, I try not to judge people because, like
Exactly.
we said, there's bad days, there's good days. Sometimes
Yeah.
you want to talk, sometimes you don't.
and that's
but
the
like,
thing about my other one is that it was the one time that happened, and it was like maybe that was the off day. So I don't remember where I got it for like a quote or something, but it was like trying not to judge them on the first
Yes.
time you see that, if it happens again, then it's like, oh, that's probably their energy.
Yeah.
But then after that, I never saw it or experienced it. So I was like,
Exactly.
you know, maybe
Yeah.
they're not actually mean or whatever, you know, but it's interesting to sit and really like watch
The
certain
process.
things. Yeah. Also Phineas, fucking Billie Eilish's brother, was on
I
season
remember.
Glee.
That's lit.
And I was on set so many times with him, and it's like, who would have fucking thought that
No,
would
right?
be
It's
like
crazy.
Right?
this 8-time Grammy winner
Yeah.
and like the brother of like the biggest pop star in our generation right now.
Dude,
Aside from
insane.
Olivia Rodrigo. We stand.
Next question. Oh, okay. Period.
Wow, look at these
I know,
little
okay, y'all,
It's
co-hosts.
like, come on, let's get off.
We got like 24 minutes left, and we still got
rapid fire.
We still have to get into
Leah
Andrea's
Michelle,
thing.
I love you.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted. I am the male Rachel Berry. Like, if there's a role made for me, it's that.
Okay,
Next
Matthew.
question.
She's not watching the podcast, but if she ever does, what's up, girl? Sorry to
Oh, these
judge
are
you.
going to go viral if we ever become famous.
Listen, okay, true. That's why I'm careful what I say. But this is
She
a
said.
totally
I'm
off
not.
the wall. This is off the wall question. Like, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. If you could cheat and no one would ever find out, like cheat on your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, and no one would ever find out, ever, would you do it?
No.
No.
No,
I believe in monogamy.
I would not ever.
I will say that, like, obviously some people have open relationships.
Yeah, that's
Well, that's
and,
totally
like,
different.
that's their thing. And, like, I don't feel bad about imposing in that space. Or
That's
stepping
different.
into it
That's
because
like
it's like
their
that's their
boundary.
rules
Yeah,
and
yeah,
yeah.
what they've determined, they've predetermined. So it's like it doesn't affect me, but like if I was the other person, that wouldn't sit right with me.
Yeah.
Yes.
If the other person in that partnership or whatever didn't know.
Yeah.
Because
Are
I
we
don't
all?
want that
Are
to
you?
be.
Are you?
I'm single as fuck, and we don't need to talk about that. Continue.
Oh, he said, "Here's my boundary, bitch." Drawing it right here.
Drawing the line to the sand.
Oh shit, he lowered the octave too.
This is
Okay,
my old table.
Truth or drink is taking really long, so
yeah, we should like
I
fire
think-
rapid fire.
Yes.
we should
Rapid
move
fire.
on to. Y'all want to talk about drugs in LA?
Wait, we gotta have at least one or two more questions. that are
Okay,
good on
sorry.
here. One more.
I just segued
Give-
very quickly.
give us a
Not me
good one.
taking a big gulp of vodka.
I'm trying to see
When
like
she said,
what
"You
do
want
we
to
got?
talk about drugs in LA?"
these aren't that good because I did them so quick.
Give me
like,
one. Throw me one, Andrea.
Have you ever used anyone for clout or tried to?
You know what? I fucking haven't. One of my best friends,
Her.
I never used him for clout.
Oh yeah, I'll say his
I
name.
could have used. No, please don't, because that's so behind me.
Sorry, that's Matthew's boundary. I won't say it.
But you know what I mean? It's like you're a like great like witness and all that. I have never used
Yeah.
any of my friends in that way
Yeah,
because
that's
I always
why
make
we're-
it.
We're not friends with them for that reason.
I make it known that this is why I'm your friend. That's not why I'm your
My
friend.
philosophy is I don't need to use people because I'm a legend on my
She
own,
said, "Teacher."
and my time will come when it comes.
Period.
Because I know I'm a legend.
Period. But I used to have a friend.
Tell us, girl.
He probably thinks we're still friends.
He's about to
Is it
find
who
out.
I think you're?
He would manipulate me and tell me he'd get me a role in a certain big franchise, movie, series, whatever. Marvel. Oh.
Oh.
And
That's
I
no big
wouldn't say
deal.
I ever used him for clout, but he didn't treat me very well. And so I was like, oh, if I'm your friend, like maybe
Like if you stick around.
maybe something will happen. Like I still want to keep that door open.
I
Like,
don't
not
think
burn a
that's
bridge.
wrong. I think
And
you
so,
know
like,
you're
the
like
door is
there's
still open.
hope and optimism in
Leave
wanting
the
something.
door open.
Okay,
Ooh.
wait. I think that's actually a really interesting thing to talk about real quick. Well, you know, we're gonna be as fast as I can. I think if you're like, oh, I know that this is a potential pathway in this relationship, that's great. That's like the cherry on top. It's like this is
Yeah.
the best way that this could go. But you're also like, I also like you as a person and I want to be around you. And that's great. You know what I mean? It's like if you're just like instantaneously from the start, like you're like blinders on, I see this career
trying to get
path,
tagged or
this
something.
thing, that's weird. That's wrong. That's not cool. But if it's like, oh, like, yeah, I can't help that this is what you do and something could come from it. Like you would be lying out of your ass
Yeah.
if you didn't say, or if
Yeah.
you said that you never had that thought.
Well, I think
Yes,
it's good to not burn
that's true.
bridges.
Yeah,
That's-
because
yes.
some people, if you burn a bridge with them, they will fucking
They'll
try
hold
to
it over you.
destroy
They will sink the shit.
But I also, it's
and
really
I have
interesting.
personal experience with that.
Because I mean, you know, hopefully no one steals this, but I really want to write a song, and it's so crazy because Sigrid, like the Swedish girl who's like, I don't feel like crying.
Uh-huh.
She has a song called "Burning Bridges." It's one of the best written songs I've ever heard in my life. But I'm like, I have an idea about burning bridges, and I'm like, what if they're more dangerous if they're left up?
Mm.
And I was like,
They are.
They can be really damaging.
are.
Some
Like,
people are meant to be left in the
Yeah,
past.
I'm
Sometimes
like,
you need that clean cut and you need to get on with your
the
life.
trauma that I'm gonna explore in season 1 of my show on HBO.
Absolutely.
I mean, okay, I'm ready.
All right.
Yeah.
When you're ready, come and get it.
Acting
Selena
coach.
Gomez said that.
Dude,
Huh?
have you seen
I'm
how
an
active
acting
she is on
coach.
TikTok?
Yes.
I
Selena
am-
Gomez is so smart.
God, I love that woman.
I love her. We
I
just
have
talked about her
stan her
last
Okay,
for so
wait.
long.
Let me change my answer. Change my answer. If I could cheat, I'd cheat with Selena Gomez.
Okay, fair enough.
Sorry,
Fair
Brian.
enough.
Love you.
Who's your celebrity crush?
Oh my God.
Too many to name.
Wait, I have 2.
Who's your top 2?
Oh, perfect. Number 1, Ryan Reynolds. Always. Like,
Really?
Yeah.
He's like
You
a
could
dad
get
to
it.
me.
he
Yeah, but
is,
he's like a dad in a
is-
hot
He's like
way.
a daddy to me.
Okay.
And my number 2 is Nat Wolff from the Naked Brothers band.
Girl, that's because you just worked with
That
him.
is true. I just worked. Yeah.
Did you sign an NDA?
I don't think so.
Okay,
What'd
well,
you? I feel like you would know if you did.
Well,
It's a
no,
new
it's on
show.
IMDb. It's fine. He's in this new show called The Consultant, which is going to be on Amazon Prime. And
Ooh.
I really didn't do anything. I was a model. So
Okay,
it's
fire.
basically glorified featured background.
what
Okay,
question
per.
did we start with just to like have context?
I don't know.
I don't remember. But anyways.
Something about cheating with a partner.
Who's your celebrity crush?
Yes. Who's your celebrity crush? I love him. That Wolf,
That's
love
a
you.
really. I'd have to go through my 900 following on Instagram to like see.
Top 2. You got to know. Y'all can probably guess mine.
I don't. Wait. Hold on.
that's true.
Literally
That's
top
her.
2.
Oh, Kehlani.
Kaylani and who?
She said Kaylani, bitch, not Kalani.
Yeah, get it right.
Kehlani.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry.
I'm
oh my
kidding.
God. Shout out to my girl Casey, my friend from Hawaii. Hawaii. That's how she says it. She loves Kehlani.
No, like
You guys would be best friends because you would like.
her
you love
album's
them.
about to come out, and the second she puts that
Wait,
tour online, bitch,
She's
I
they
am.
them, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Because you
Sorry,
you
they.
said it on your Instagram the other day. You said like I'm so excited for their album to come out, and I was like, oh my God.
Oh.
I was like, look at Alexa being like
I
pronoun.
don't mean
like,
yeah, they.
No, it's hard. It's really
Yeah.
hard. One of my like music producer, she was he, and then he, she, they, and she, they now, but very much a she as well. Like I feel
I
like
feel
that's
like she goes by, or Kaylani says she goes by both. I
Kalani's
think.
they, them now. At least right now, maybe. Or maybe that's Demi. I don't know.
Regardless, I am in love with them.
It's a really like challenging psychological thing to like adjust and correct yourself to not like offend someone. And you know, they're very gracious when you do. It's not like they know when it's
Yeah.
like, you know, unintentional and not
Yeah.
malicious, and they
Mhm.
know when it is malicious.
yeah.
But it's like a very hard thing when you have met someone as one thing or known them as this, and then you're like transitioning to blah 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 blah. You know, it's like
Yeah, no, it's
you have
definitely.
to like think about it. I'm like, oh my God, like, did I say anything in this past couple sentences that would have been like the wrong pronoun? It's like very hard.
That's what's hard. Yeah, I feel like it's easy to like try to, especially with this, you're just talking as yourself.
yeah.
Like I always get scared. Like, am I saying something wrong? Like, holy shit. Because
Yeah.
my intention's never to say anything wrong.
Of
You know?
course.
Mhm.
Do y'all know my other celebrity crush?
No, who? That's
Yo,
what,
God.
that's what
I
I've
feel
been
like I
waiting
can't think
for.
of it. I can't.
That's
think
my
of it.
boy Justin Bieber.
Oh my God.
I would never guess that. I would have guessed Billy before Justin.
Honestly,
What?
I'm
Justin Bieber doesn't do it for me, but
Haley does though. Ooh, girl.
not in that way. Like
Oh.
I just wasn't. I
You
didn't
don't
have
like her?
Bieber fever.
No, I like Kaylee. I was saying oof to Justin.
Like
He's
honestly, I'd pick like
sexy.
Kendall Jenner over Justin Bieber. Like,
Really?
yeah.
Oh my God, did you?
Good.
I mean,
Kendall
they're all
Jenner's
hot.
Kendall,
Like,
did
Kendall
y'all
Jenner's my
see-
aesthetic. Like she
They're
is
all hot.
celebrity rich Scorpio, and that is like the aesthetic I attain.
I
Or,
live for it.
Not attain. I want to attain.
Did y'all see that TikTok of Justin Bieber following Haley and Kendall with the fucking flash camera?
Yes.
Oh my God, it killed me. I love
That
him.
is literally the energy I need in my
Yes,
life
me
going
too.
forward 24/7.
Absolutely. Oh my God, I have Bieber fever too.
I
Okay,
have always
I'm
had
drunk.
Bieber fever. It like goes away, but it gets reactivated, and I think that's just always going to be the
I'm
case
weird.
for me.
Ever since I feel like now I'm just ready to
Matthew.
talk about the drugs.
Okay, y'all. So
I'm ready to
Drugs.
like parlay into the.
I don't know how we
next
segue into this, but we kind of want to talk about a serious topic, and that is
segment. Magic mushrooms.
Andrea has on a Magic Mushrooms sweatshirt.
Y'all need to watch
and
the video
I've been
to
trying to
check
get
it
Alexa
out.
to do them for a minute.
yeah,
oh
they've
my
been
God,
telling me.
I have to say, sorry, Mom. Sorry, Grandma. Sorry, Grandpa. If you're listening to this, I know you don't like to hear about this, but it changed my life for the better. So
Yeah, let me just say it, and then I'll let you talk, Andrea. But like, I've never done mushrooms. I've never done any drugs. The only thing I've done, which I talked about the
like
last
it's
couple,
psychedelic,
weed.
hallucinogen.
that's not really like drugs to me.
I just
So-
think, like, I don't like weed. The smell gives me a headache. I had a roommate that hit his bong every.
But the
like,
thing is, like
5
back in
minutes
Texas, like anytime
college.
somebody would bring up like mushrooms or something, to me that was like fucking deadly. Like, oh my God. Then you
Yeah.
come to LA and everyone's
Yeah.
like, you should try mushrooms. You should try mushrooms.
No,
And
literally.
I'm just always terrified because I know how my brain works. I get really bad anxiety.
Yes.
Like I had the worst anxiety attack when I smoked
Girl.
actual weed. So now I'm like, if I
We're
get
gonna get
stuck
into it.
into something like that where I can't get out of it, like I know if you smoke, I can at least be aware of like, okay, let me
Yes.
breathe. With that, it's a whole different territory for me.
You are literally speaking to me.
So where do we start with you or do we start with me?
Let's start with Andrea.
It doesn't matter.
I just didn't know which like the best way linearly
Okay.
speaking or chronologically was. Like, to
I
start.
felt the same way as you. I was like, because Matthew started doing mushrooms long
Yes.
beginning of the
before
pandemic.
Yes,
Okay.
beginning of the pandemic.
And to note, it took me like 6 months of like hard like thinking about it
Yes.
and just like really just it was just like
You
this
didn't just
small
impulsively do
thought
it
in
one
my
day.
mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like hearing about it. I was like, "Oh, this feels like something that could actually really help me touch on things in my life that I want to know more about."
Okay.
Yes. And so he tried to get me to do it for how
I didn't like
for
trying to
like
get her to do it. I just was
years.
like, "Oh, this is cool."
2
Yeah.
years basically. And I felt the same way as you. I was like, I have so much anxiety. Like I can't even smoke weed. Like it makes me so anxious. I
Yeah.
just don't know what this experience
But
is
where
gonna
did
do
your
for
real
me.
anxiety come from?
I don't fucking know yet.
Acid?
I thought we were talking about mushrooms.
I know, but but you got to give the whole story, like why
Okay.
you didn't want to.
Okay, I didn't want to do mushrooms because I tried. Ugh, okay, fine. I
to call you out unofficially.
tried acid once in Chicago. We were microdosing, but
Years ago.
it ended up.
Uh-huh.
Can I go to jail for this?
No,
No.
Okay, great.
statute of limitation.
We were microdosing, but it ended up not being a microdose because I was like, "This is so much fun." And then
You went to
I
jail, that'd be such a TikTok.
literally saw
Arrested from my podcast that no one watches.
literally, I saw like things. I saw the devil. I swear to God.
No, see, I don't even
For
like caring
days.
about that. That gives
No,
me
I
like
did. That
No, just
acid,
wait, just wait,
acid.
just wait.
So that's why I didn't do mushrooms for so long because I was like, I don't want this experience, that same experience to happen.
yeah.
And then so Matthew and I live in a guest house, and in our main house, our roommate is like so
Spiritual.
He's so spiritual. He's so smart. He just knows.
like hyper intelligent.
He's
Okay.
so smart, and he just like knows. He uses mushrooms as medicine. Is
It's
how-
called plant therapy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's how
I
Casey
know it
Musgraves
is.
refer to it, and
Yeah.
I love
So
that.
one day, I honestly, I don't think you're supposed to drink before you do it, but I was a little tipsy, so I said, "Fine, let's
we
do
had
it,"
burgers, onion rings, and some rosé.
and I did it.
and
And
how
it
was
was
it?
like it was the most random thing. I did not know we were going to do that day.
Honestly, I need to do it again.
We did 2 grams. I don't know if whoever's listening or listening or watching knows that, but that's like not. It's like strong, but it's
Yeah, I don't
not
know anything
like,
about
It
it
was
really.
super
it's not
eye-opening.
deep strong.
Like, what did you learn? Like, what makes it so eye opening?
I mean, honestly, for me personally, I learned like how depressed I am, like fundamentally, like everything in my journal was about how depressed I was.
I mean,
helps you
but do you
acknowledge
just
it.
take it and when it hits you, you're like, I feel like I was depressed because
Nope.
this. Like, how do you? What does it feel like?
We tripped for probably 6 to 6.5 hours, but
That
the
scares
first
me.
3 hours
No.
are really like
you
that's
don't
the
see
strongest
anything.
part. Yeah, everything is just heightened. Your senses are heightened.
I'm scared to have like what's it called? Not illusions, but like.
Hallucination.
hallucinations.
You won't hallucinate.
Nope. Not happening.
So you feel like it helped you?
I mean, it helped me to see like what my root problems are.
That's like the size
For
of
me.
the trip that she did, like the dosage. It was just like, oh, let's open you up enough so that you can see what the issue could be, but then you also
Okay.
see like
Mhm.
the good side of tripping, like everything smells, your senses are heightened, so like everything smells so good, everything looks so pretty, everything feels so like soft, but then you're like realizing like, oh, like I'm literally depressed. You're
But
like,
what's the
able to
difference between
acknowledge it.
that and then just being like self-aware, where you're like, oh, I can pinpoint I get anxiety
No,
because of this.
self-awareness, I think it's like that's like a misconception. Like you think you're aware, but you're not. Like I literally would say when I did a really big trip at the end of 2021 because I was like, oh, like I need to like cleanse some stuff. I hadn't tripped in a year and a half, and I was really 2021 was a really hard year for us for so many reasons, and I just felt like I needed to let it go. And when I did it, it was like after I was done, like the 2 weeks after, my body was really exhausted because I have a lot of like muscle spasms when I trip. I don't know, because I hold physical tension, I guess. But I was so like just depleted, and I was so like I felt very down, and I was just so confused. And then once I got over that hurdle, I was like, oh my God, like I feel so much better. And I was talking with our housemate, and I was like, I don't want. I was like, I don't want to say I was depressed because I wasn't depressed. And he was like, why don't you want to say you were depressed? And I was like, because like, I mean, I was like getting out of bed, like, I was like, I wasn't like bedridden. And he was like,
Yeah.
but you can be a functioning like
Amen.
depressive person.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. And I was like, I think I was depressed. Like, it just makes you just like, it's like flips a switch and you see it from a new perspective. And you're like, and sometimes it takes someone from the outside to like give you context. But he just, as soon as he asked, like, why don't you think you were depressed?
Uh-huh.
And it was because like, oh, I had this idea of what depression was.
Do you think it makes you think too deep though? Because like
Yes.
how kind
Oh, absolutely.
But how I was saying earlier, like sometimes I just want to be like, fuck
Yes,
this.
too deep.
Not fuck.
I wrote a suicide note.
Nah, I'm
What?
in too deep.
I literally was like
Andrea.
way too deep.
I'm
I thought
like
I was going
Drake
to kill
and shit.
myself
Why?
because I guess I'm just that depressed. I don't know.
It's-
I'm trying to work through it, but
Well, yeah, it's like I
Well-
think it's about, really going into that space in a heavier
I think it is
setting.
helpful because then you're like, you really, even though I was like, wow, afterwards I was like, I'm so sad. Like this made me feel super uncomfortable. But then it's like, I understand now why I feel the way I feel about certain
But also
things. And it's-
simultaneously, you were very much like, I just don't know why I can't see the world like this
All the time.
all
Yes,
the time. Like
exactly.
she was like,
it
she was just
flipped
like
something.
enamored by how beautiful everything around her was and how
Yeah.
like pretty it was and the
Absolutely.
life that it gave.
But isn't that why people get addicted to stuff? Even like alcohol. It's like I'm not
No.
saying they're the same thing because they're totally different. But
Mushrooms are
alcohol
different.
obviously like lowers your what is it called, inhibitions.
Yeah.
And like that reminds me of that song.
Feel
The feel the rain on your skin. But it's like you care less. You care less about what people think of
Yeah.
you. So people
Yeah.
can drink and be like, well, I wish I felt like I didn't judge myself this much all the time. Like,
But that's the
Absolutely.
thing.
and I
like,
know it's different. I know it's totally different.
with mushrooms, like our housemate could explain this a lot better on why you can't get addicted to mushrooms. But I
Isn't
feel like
it the same as like weed because
I don't
you
know
can't
how
get
to describe it.
addicted to weed.
I think you can.
I think
don't
you can
know.
get addicted to
I think you can
anything.
get. No, I think you can get addicted to weed because I know some.
I do think you
potheads.
can get addicted to
Maybe
anything.
like you won't have withdrawals, but mentally,
Well,
I feel like you're addicted.
The
Like,
difference
yeah.
with mushrooms is that you have to take like twice as much to feel what you like. If you were like, oh, I'm gonna trip today on this many grams, you'd have to take twice as many the next day to feel what you felt.
So say what you learn on your trip. Do you take it into your real life and like do you feel like it actually
yeah, it's
helps
called
you?
integration. So you're like the stuff that you learn, like it doesn't always come. I keep like hitting the camera, the mic. You don't necessarily like realize it right away. Sometimes it comes in the time after. It's like, you have to like journal your thoughts. You have to like
Mhm.
live your life and like really ruminate on it. And like, that's why like, I think for me, the first time I did mushrooms was at the beginning of the pandemic. And then 3 to 4 months later, I started making new music. And the irony was I was supposed to start making that new music right before I did the mushrooms.
Uh-huh.
But what I was going to make music about then was so drastically different than what I made music about after.
Okay, yeah.
And it was just like all of a sudden, like my whole mind had changed. And like that's what my whole
Mhm.
EPs that's coming up is about, is like literally all the things I learned about myself. It was just like, I didn't try to find those things. Like, I mean, I did. I was like, what do I want this like music to be about? What do I want to know about myself? Why can't I fucking cry? Like all of
Yeah.
these things. I was asking myself questions with my journaling and my intentions.
Yeah.
And then over time it starts to come
Makes
out
sense.
and make sense. Yeah. It's like you're taking these puzzle pieces and putting them together. Now I will say that if you take a smaller dose that's still big enough that you're like, whoa, I'm tripping, you don't necessarily get 100% of
Gotcha.
what you're looking for. So now I feel like I need like a really deep step to find the clarity that I'm looking for. Like I
Hmm.
felt very, I felt
Do we
good.
ever find it? Do you want to do it again? Like
I
feel
think
like
you do.
to a certain degree, I feel like we can be like conscious and stuff, but then I'm like,
yeah.
there comes for me, and I've never done mushrooms, and I get like the tool. It's a good thing. But like for me, I feel like I can get too much like why this, why that, why do I feel this way?
Yes.
To the point where it's just always running into another
Me too.
question. And I'm just like, you know what? I like myself. I want to have fun and like enjoy all the experiences on earth. Like,
yes.
do I really need to know like why everything is why it
No,
is?
we
I
do
think
not.
you stop asking those questions and because you find the answer and then you start asking new questions.
We'll
But
always
sometimes
ask
I'm
questions.
just tired of asking questions.
Me
though.
too.
I
Oh,
just want to like fucking exist and not feel something.
But I think you
for
have
what-
moments like that. I just don't think it's like 100% of the time. Like I just don't
Yeah.
think that's humanly possible.
Like dogs
brains
aren't
are
like
curious.
dogs are not like why do I do that? Like, dogs are fucking chilling, and we're animals.
I mean, I think
Oh my
dogs are
God.
curious, but they don't understand why they're curious. You know what I mean? They're just like,
Exactly.
oh, what's that smell?
Yeah.
But they're not like, well, I didn't smell that yesterday. Like, why is that today? Like,
Yeah.
da-da-da-da. Like, fuck me. Like, I don't know.
I wonder why we're that way.
Is that just human nature? Like,
I think it's the only way that we're able to grow and develop as a society.
I mean, that makes
And a race.
sense.
period.
Period.
If we can't have curiosity, then
True.
where do we
That's
go?
Because I love it. I do love the curiosity. I love asking the questions. But there does come that point
That's
where
why I
it's just like,
struggle making a show. I
Why?
just have so many questions. I'm like,
True.
what does my
Why-
character want to do?
Exactly. I
do you
don't
want to
know.
do it again?
I feel like your answer changes depending on who you're talking to. I just want to say that.
I do.
Roast her.
I do want to do it again, but like now just seeing my fundamental. I mean, it's so weird. Like growing up, I knew I had anxiety and depression, but no one talked about those things back then. So
Yeah.
it was like I didn't have a word for my feelings, and so now like that everyone talks about all those things. It's really great, and it makes me feel safe and seen
Yeah.
and whatever. But I do want to do it again, but I have issues I need to work through.
Wait, I want to say
Yeah.
one thing and then I want to ask you two questions. One, I feel like
We have 3 minutes.
okay, I feel like you need to tell your boyfriend you did mushrooms.
Hi, Brian. I did mushrooms.
Both of our
two,
boyfriends have B names.
how
Cute.
do you feel now that you've done it, and what have you learned in that time, or how have you changed?
I don't think you're going to like the answer to this question because it's actually kind of sad because even Brent has been like, why are you so sad lately?
But I think that's them doing their job. I think it's preparing you for the next
Maybe.
session.
Maybe. I don't know. TBD. We'll see.
Okay, you didn't really answer the
Do you wanna
question.
not
but
answer
You're just
it?
sad.
I don't know. I don't know if it's like, I don't know.
I mean, I just
That's
remember
okay.
that FaceTime call I had with you
I just
before you
don't
went to
know
get
yet.
coffee. Like, you were like, I'm just a little more observant.
Oh,
You're a little more soft-spoken. You're just
yes,
like
that's
really
true.
taking
Like,
in your surrounding.
I do feel like I used to just like talk, but I do feel like I listen more and I observe and I see what's going on. But
Are you
Yeah.
more in your head?
I'm so in my head now.
Yeah.
Really?
I
I
don't-
don't want to be more in my
But
head.
not in like a bad way, no?
I mean, instinctively it feels like it's a bad way, but I know it's not. Like,
yeah,
I know
it's like you've
growth.
opened up a new part of your mind that like was not active
Yes.
before. Like, that's how it feels for me. Like, I'm just like, my mind is like so already hyperactive, but then that was like, oh, now I have like, it's like you were doing here and then you went even deeper.
I'm scared.
Don't
No.
do it.
I mean, everything
do
you've
it
told-
if you feel like your body wants you to.
I go through the ups and downs just like we all do, and like I really do feel like I'm at a point now. What? Why are y'all? What's this code talk?
I was saying there's only a minute left.
Oh yeah, we have a minute left, but
Fuck.
Also, side note, we're going to Vegas this weekend.
yes, we are.
I feel like
Three
we
of
need a
us.
part two. TBH.
Why didn't we talk about going to Vegas this
There's
weekend?
a lot that we didn't even cover that I
Yeah,
wanted to
I
cover.
think
know.
we're gonna need like a part 2 or 3 of TBH.
We can.
And next
can.
Monday?
Yeah.
After Vegas.
Oh,
We
bitch.
should do an after
fuck.
Vegas.
We should.
Yeah, because
I'm in.
Yeah,
Stay
wait.
tuned.
100% I'm in.
Wait, y'all want a part 2?
Next week
even though you're
after
not gonna have
Vegas.
time to vote.
Yeah, right. No, we can't. This comes out Wednesday.
Oh
In 2
yeah.
days? That's
Yeah.
so quick.
Well, yeah,
Nice.
because Armand and Andrew are the fucking
The
baddest.
shit. Yeah, dude. There's
That's
more where
awesome.
this came
Is it-
from,
Oh
folks.
fuck! Is it
What?
Oh my
Armand or
God.
Armin? Armin.
Can you imagine us
I'm
after
really
having a weekend in
curious about
Vegas coming back here and just discussing
Like, what changed in a
everything?
week of our lives?
Literally.
Honestly, iconic.
I'm sure there's gonna be a lot. We're
Oh.
always growing. We're always changing, but we always stay overwhelmed.
Wait, should we
bitch.
like?
Exactly.
If anyone has any questions or things they want us to talk about, if we do a part 2, I think we should do a
Yeah,
part
yeah,
2.
we should.
TBH.
So,
We
like, if
should.
y'all have questions about mushrooms, they can answer.
Jesus
or just, like,
Christ,
about-
I do not want to be known as the mushroom girl.
No, you don't.
You're
have to.
literally the mushroom girl in your magic mushroom sweater right now.
Honestly,
I'm
think
all ears. I'm open minded. Like I don't judge. So I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
do what works for you.
It's weird
I'm
to
in a
talk
really,
about it.
I'm in a really like good place in my mindset right now.
I
so
love
I'm kind
that
of
for
scared
you.
to fuck with it.
Cheers.
cheers
Yeah.
to that. Well, thank you
Cheers.
for having us.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
thanks
this
for
was
coming,
so much
guys.
fun.
I'm excited to come back.
I
Part
feel like
Or-
it could have been a little chaotic.
Should we just
but
record on voice memo and fucking Vegas?
Part 2
Low-key.
next week, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Yeah.
guys. We out this bitch. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube at Overwhelmed
And
Podcast.
raise your hand if you're overwhelmed.
Always. We're always
Period.
overwhelmed. I stay
Goodbye.
overwhelmed even when I'm in a good headspace.
Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you next time.